Mincemeat recipe number 4. These ones here are shortbread, but shortbread with a difference. They are probably the best shortbread I've ever made, and I make a lot of shortbread. Let me share this recipe with you now. First thing I'm doing is I'm going to set up the little edging for my shortbread. Very simply, I'm going to throw 80 grams of soft dark brown sugar, and then I'm going to zest an orange into that. This is Blana's idea. I was going to put the orange zest into the cookie. She said, why not try it on the edge and see if that works. So we shall see if it does. Now I'm just going to use a little knife to mix that through there. And then when I roll the cookies in that, the shortbread, it'll be nice and orangey as well as sugary. Smells good already. The noise you hear in the background is plum pudding. Always plum pudding baking in the background. My first ingredient is butter. And the amount of butter you use then makes every other ingredient dependent on it. So here we go. If I use what's in this pack, 225, then that's what I'm going to do. The same in flour. I'm going to put this into the microwave because it's soft, but it's not soft enough. So I'm going to put it in for maybe 20 seconds. Enough for me, I think. Yeah, perfect. You don't want it to be too soft. 225 of plain flour goes in there. And into that, I'm adding half that quantity of corn flour. So I have 225 of butter, so that means I need 115-ish of corn flour. With my corn flour, 15 of icing sugar. So that is your basic shortbread recipe. Just going to stick the knife in there. And the other ingredient I'm adding is some mincemeat. If you use a shop mincemeat, you don't want one that's too wet because that will alter the texture of these shortbreads. So I'm using mine. You can see that's a mix of last year's and this year's. So let's do 225 so that it's an easy number to remember. There you go, 225, and that should give us a really nice mincemeat flavour. Okay, I think it has to be hands. Make sure they're clean. Make sure if you have an engagement ring, it's off. Wedding rings are fine. I don't take those off. So here we go. And we mix this until it's fully combined. I make this shortbread normally in a food processor. I forgot that today. But look how easily that mix comes together because the mincemeat helps to bind it quicker than it would if we didn't have the mincemeat in there. This is an experiment, so no idea how it's going to work out. But that's the joy of baking. And there is your biscuit mix. Take your time and bring that together on your counter. No extra flour added. Just take your time until it comes together like this. Use the back of the knife or the front of the knife if it's not a sharp knife to take all that dough off my hands. If you look at it, sometimes it feels like there's a little hole in the middle of the dough. So it's important to make sure that you don't have a hole in it because it kind of affects the finish of the cookies. But that looks like it's good. My nice brown sugar onto the counter with it in a line. And we are going to roll our shortbread in it. It smells really nicely of oranges. So what you're hoping is that this will stick to the outside of your dough, just like that. Ooh, how perfect is that, Blah? To store this in the fridge, you roll it in parchment. And put that into the fridge for at least an hour so that it'll get nice and firm. So you're just going to cut these, that's what they look like, and place them. So I'm doing them. That is about slightly under a centimetre, 3/4 of a centimetre maybe. And I'm giving them lots of space on the tray. You should smell this. Oh my God. Amazing. And the orange Good girl blonde. The orange smells wonderful on them. You can see from the smaller little piece of shortbread, I've got 12 biscuits, and I'll leave the other one in the fridge and I'll do that again. So they go into a 140-degree oven for about 20 minutes or so. You just keep an eye on them, and as soon as they start colouring, they're cooked.